J. Todd Realtor here. I want to talk about the BINSR for you for both buyers and sellers and what is it. The BINSR happens during the inspection period, usually a 10-day period at the beginning of the contract, and then we submit this to the other party, whether you're the buyer or the seller. Buyers submit it to the seller, sellers receive it. It is another negotiation period. Now this is where the buyer will ask for certain items to be fixed that came up during the inspection. The first thing to remember during this, don't be emotional. They're not looking to ask you for a bunch of repairs because of something weird. It's really just a matter of fact of some items that came up that were a concern. On the flip side, buyers need to be prepared to understand that the seller may not be able to fix everything. So it's another negotiation period, but the key is to not be emotional. You don't want the seller to think, well, I lowered the price by X amount of dollars, so I'm not going to fix anything. Well, that's not good because the best contract is the contract you have. And buyers, you don't want to go, well, we had to go above our asking price and we overpaid, so we're going to ask for everything. Well, that was also your decision too. Depending on the market, that may have been what you needed to do to get the house that you wanted. So we got to take emotion out of this and just be a little bit more factual. And I'll help guide you on what those things are. Okay, so what is reasonable? What is reasonable? Think about it, like an AC unit. Well, if the AC unit is old, but it still works, it's kind of hard to ask for somebody to replace it when it is still functioning. We wouldn't do that in our own home. So buyers, you kind of have to understand that a little bit. What is also DIY? If it's tightening a knob, changing a couple light bulbs, maybe tightening a little flange on the bottom of a faucet, that's something that can be DIY that doesn't cost very much for both the buyer or the seller. Then you also have to think, what is a deal breaker? What are those things that you can't, if they're not going to fix it, you can't buy the house? Or on the flip side, if you're the seller, what's something that you just refuse to fix, or that if they have to have it, you can't sell them the house? Okay, lots of times that comes down to cost and time. So those are some things to go. So we want to take the emotion out of it and just look at the essentials, the non-emotional items. Okay, those are things that we'll talk about and we'll guide. Each person is different on what's essential to them and what is a DIY thing to them. So just again, remember, during the inspection period, who cares about what the list price was? We're in the next stage. We're just looking to see what we need to get fixed out of the house, what the buyer needs to get fixed to get into the house, and the ultimate goal is to sell the house. I'll be helping you through this, but again, any other questions, let your friends and family know. Call J. Todd Realtor. Thank you.